Hey, guess what? This is my lazy vlog. And I know I'm a little late to the party here when talking about The Last Jedi. As I'm sure you all know, the Star Wars fandom has never been quite so divisive, but that was months ago and everybody's moved on. And here I am, months late, coming to it. But you know what? I'm going to do it anyways because everybody missed it. Everybody missed the thing. There's a major plot hole. Now, okay, I love the movie. I'm just going to put it out there. I loved it. And a lot of the things that people criticized about the movie, I liked. Like, for example, Leia's Superman scene, I thought that was cool. I thought, like, if I had the Force, I'd be doing stuff like that all the time. They can move things with their mind. They can make things float. They can control their fall if they're falling with the Force. They can jump really high. Why can't they make themselves float? Why can't they make themselves fly? Everybody floats down here or up there or in space or with the Force. So that's a whole other video. That's a whole other topic. A lot of the things that people disliked about The Last Jedi, I liked. I thought it was really cool. I thought it worked really well. But there's one thing. There's one thing. The one major plot hole that is the real plot hole, the real problem, the real big problem. And here's what it is. And okay, it stems from, I'm going to build up a little bit more because that's what I do. It stems from all of these sci-fi space adventure deals getting it wrong. And they get it wrong. And they get it wrong specifically in a point where they shouldn't have got it wrong. Okay, the opening, I'm going to stop building up to it. I'm going to get to it right now. Here's what it is. The opening sequence when they're taking on the dreadnought. Dude, I was on the edge of my seat, man. I was nervous. I was legit nervous, which is rare for movies nowadays, right? There's no what's the word I want? Stakes. There's no threat. Like, the stakes are gone. You know, people don't really die. There's no reason to get nervous. There's no tension, but that opening sequence had all the tension, and I was on the edge of my seat. Man, I was holding my breath, man. When the one fighter in the bomber and she is trying to drop the bombs on the dreadnought and she falls and she lands on the thing, but here's the problem. The problem lies in that scene. That scene was super cool, but here's the problem. The bomber that she's in with all the bombs around her on the walls and she's laying on that platform, it's open to space. She's laying there on the platform at the bottom of the bomber thing, and the remote falls right past her, and she catches it underneath, and then the bombs drop. But it's open to space, man. She shouldn't be able to breathe. It's not airtight. The bombs drop through. So why is she breathing? And I know she's breathing because you can hear her breathing. She's not just laying there slowly dying in the vacuum of space like she should be. She's breathing. You hear it. You hear the breathing. So that doesn't make any sense. And I get how maybe if there was like an invisible force field, because that happens a lot in sci-fi, there's an invisible force field that is just strong enough to hold in the air. But usually when they do that, you can see when things go through it, when something touches it, it appears, right? It's invisible until something that's thicker than air touches it, then it appears and you can see it. But it didn't. The bombs dropped right through it and it didn't appear. It's just open. Maybe if they had showed the force field when the bombs hit it, then maybe I could buy it, but they didn't. The bombs just dropped right through and it's open to space, and she should be dying from not being able to breathe. From the open vacuum of space. Yeah, from the explosion, but the space. And here's the thing. The real plot hole of the film, this kind of comes from how, like I said earlier, all of these space adventure things get space wrong. The ships, and this is a problem that I've always had with Star Wars and the space fighting. Don't get me wrong, it's cool. The ships fighting in space, it's super cool, but an actual space battle wouldn't be like that. Like, the ships fly around with... First of all, X-Wings are my favorite... my favorite kind of ship is the X-Wing. If I could have my own kind of thing, it would be a Firefly class ship with a bunch of X-Wings in the hangar. That'd be cool. But anyways, there's no reason for the X-Wing to have wings, because it's well, I guess if it goes into the atmosphere of a, but still, there's no atmosphere in space. So the ships are flying around, curving and things like they're in space, but they're not. They're in atmosphere, but they're not. They're in space. And so, and the ships in space act like there's gravity too, and that's the other thing. Like, if a ship is disabled, like especially the bigger ones, if like a Star Destroyer is disabled, it starts to fall off as if gravity's pulling it down. There's no gravity. It wouldn't fall off like that. It would just keep floating in its same position. And you've seen that a number of times. Like, it falls off and it crashes into the other, or it crashes into the Death Star or something. But you see it again. There's a big part in The Last Jedi where you see this when the ships are fleeing from the First Order and they're running out of gas. And as soon as it runs out of gas, it like goes up and stops and falls back. It wouldn't do that. In fact, in space, you could just like put an initial burst, right, from your fuel that keeps you, the momentum starts going, and then turn off your engines, because there's no force coming back to slow you down. So there's no need to run out of fuel to turn off your engine. You're still moving. Nothing's going to slow you down. That's the real plot hole. That's the real problem with the film. Despite all the other things, I personally liked that Rey's parents are nobody. I personally liked that Snoke didn't have a back history. I like that they're not connected and interweaved. It remystifies the Force, and it makes it so that anybody from anywhere could be a Force user. You know, like, I'm still waiting for my owl so I could go to Hogwarts, or I'm still waiting for my Force powers to kick in. It could be anyone. You know, I could be a Force user. You could be a Force user. You just don't know it yet because it hasn't kicked in yet. You don't have to have Skywalker blood in you. So I liked that about the film. A lot of things that people didn't like, I liked. So there. That's the thing. And on that point, I'm going to move on. If you didn't know already, the reason I'm talking about Star Wars, I'm doing a Star Wars fan film. It's called The Saber, and please go check it out on my website. It's, information and stuff. If you're curious about it, dude, you can read the first 2 pages of the script on my website. Right? I mean, come on, tell me that doesn't interest you. You gotta go read the script, and you gotta look for the first 2 pages at least and see what it's gonna be about. EasilyAmusedGroup.com. Go read my script, man. And then check out my Indiegogo, and do me a favor and consider donating to the Indiegogo campaign to support The Saber, a Star Wars fan film, because it's going to be epic. I promise. It's going to be epic, but I need a little help to get it going. So there's some really cool incentives. Go check it out and consider donating, and then share it. Let everybody know about it. As many people as possible that can know about it is the better. And that's what I'm going to say. Hey, guess what? This was my lazy vlog.